A few weeks ago, Vineville neighbors showed up in droves to a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to dispute the possible demolition of a house they feel is historic. Some say it's the first home of the first woman ever to receive a bachelor's degree from an accredited school. Others in the neighborhood just worry the big house's foundation's complex has grown a bit too much. They worry about a rumored amphitheater that would be built in its place, but the foundation says it would be some sort of park. Either way, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted it down and sent the big house back to the drawing board. Earlier this week, some Vineville neighbors noticed demolition in the area around that house. They called us to ask what was going on, and we spent the past couple of days gathering information. Tonight, we have all the pieces. Our sources are Macon Chief Building Official Daniel Brown, a letter from the Vineville Neighborhood Association, Macon tax records, and Richard Brent, the Big House Executive Director. Anthony Montalto verifies.
Here in Macon, we all know the Big House and the lore behind it, but did you know the Big House Foundation also owns two other properties here on Vineville? The one we're talking about in this story, right here with the red roof.
When the truck shows up, that's when we all start learning what's happening. And unfortunately, that's been the way this has gone all along.
Ask Ron Lemon a question about Vineville, he probably knows the answer. Lemon lives just around the corner from the Big House.
About 22 years, probably.
And fell in love with the neighborhood.
Fell in love with a historic old house. I went and looked at it on an open house, and I walked in the door, and I knew I was in trouble after that.
But it hasn't all been roses in historic Vineville.
We feel like that we haven't always been on the same page with the Big House, the city, Historic Macon, our neighborhood association.
Neighbors felt that more this week as the demolition crew knocked down an accessory building behind two of the Big House properties. Some neighbors worried the demolition happened at 2353 Vineville, which has been under dispute for years. The Vineville Neighborhood Association sent out a letter to folks in the area confirming the demolition at 2363 Vineville next door. Richard Brent with the Big House Foundation told 13 WMAZ the same. We called the chief building official, Daniel Brown, who confirmed there was a valid demolition permit at 2363, that red-roofed house. And tax records confirmed that 2363 has or had an extra building, and 2353 did not. Even though that controversial house is safe for now, it does worry Lemon and other neighbors who say they just want to be in the loop.
We aren't against changes necessarily, but when you're going to demolish a historic house from the 1850s, that's a big deal. And again, this is the face of our neighborhood right here. And if we can do anything to preserve that facade of that house, we want to do that at all costs.
So we can verify that yes, that demolition happened behind 2363 Vineville and not 2353, which is the home that the Big House originally wanted to demolish. We can also verify that yes, that demolition permit was active. In Macon, Anthony Montalto, 13 WMAZ News.
The Big House Foundation says they currently do not have any new plans for the house at 2353 Vineville. Any new plans would likely have to go before the Planning and Zoning Commission.